In the past week, President Trump signed new tariffs into law that might affect you. It involves washing machines and solar cell products. Shari is joining us and got us covered with how these new tariffs work and how they could impact our wallets. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks.
Because this is something a lot of people have been talking about and asking questions. So let's start with that. How do they work?
So a tariff is basically a tax on imported products. And we've been using tariffs since the Boston Tea Party. They've been a part of our country history. Today we have an organization that's called International Trade Committee that the president appoints and advises the president on these types of issues. And under something called the Global Safeguard Law, an industry can actually petition the committee to take a look at the damage that imports are having to their industry. So if there's serious injury and it's substantially due to the imports, then a tariff may be a consideration. That's exactly what happened in these two industries with Korean and Chinese imports.
All right, so what are the new tariffs that have been implemented and why, more importantly perhaps, are they so controversial?
Right. So the tariffs can actually, they're on a sliding scale, they can actually go up to 50% over the next 4 years.
On what you pay for a product?
On what the import company pays. So in other words, this Korean company who's importing washing machines and major washing machine parts or solar parts. The reason it's controversial, Roxanne, is that this is an art, not a science, and no one really knows. There's a lot of uncertainty. So are these tariffs going to actually help these industries? I mean, 30 U.S. solar-based industries have gone out of business. Is that because of the industries, or is this something that's going to help? Is it going to have a negative impact on the economy because solar is such a big part of our growing economy, a negative impact on jobs? And then a big question, of course, is how will it impact prices? And then what are these other countries going to do to retaliate? Because it looks like we've kind of opened the door to industries asking for tariffs now. The committee is open to that. Where is this going to end up?
Well, that's a good question without an answer at this point.
Right. To be determined.
So that leaves us with what happens next with all of this.
Well, so the foreign entities can actually petition the World Trade Organization, which is what happened when George Bush imposed tariffs back in 2001 on the steel industry. And these tariffs can actually eventually end up being voided. But the committee will also be providing reports to President and then Congress on whether or not these remedies are working. In the meantime, as far as we're concerned, we can expect price increases in these sectors of up to 20%. So if you're planning on doing something to your home with solar, for example, or a washing machine, or even washing machine repairs, you may want to check into this. This may impact you, and just keep your eyes and ears open for that word tariffs, because if we see more of them, it will impact our wallet in terms of the cost of these imports.
Well, indeed it will. Thanks for the info.
Sure.
Very helpful. Appreciate it. Let's send things over to Felicia for the latest on our forecast.
Thanks a lot, Rob.